like to break the Babe Ruth record, 60 home runs.
DiMaggio's rookie year was amazing. He batted .323, hit 29 home runs, and scored 132 RBIs. He was so accomplished at this early stage in his career that he astounded his teammates, his managers, the fans, and the press. Over the years, there was only one ball player who ever broke through DiMaggio's private shell, and that was his teammate Lefty Gomez, a real goofball. When DiMaggio went out on the town, it was usually to Toots Shores, the hot New York nightclub. There he would tuck himself into a remote booth and talk to very few people. One night, Lefty Gomez introduced Joe to Dorothy Arnold, and the two fell in love.
Well, I've had many a thrill in my day as a ball player and everything else, but I want to say this is one of my happiest and best thrills I've ever had.
When Joltin' Joe and Dorothy held their wedding in his hometown of San Francisco, the whole city turned out to celebrate. After their marriage, the happy couple returned to New York to set up house. They did most of the things that newlyweds do, except that DiMaggio hit home runs for a living. Naturally, the new Mrs. Joe Dimaggio became bosom buddies with Mrs. Lefty Gomez, and they went to the ballpark every day to watch their husbands play. By year's end, the Dimaggios had a baby boy, Joe Jr. Through the camera, Marilyn herself was born. While at Fox, Marilyn appeared in only one film, Scudda-Hoo, Scudda-Hey.
What's the smallest part you ever had?
Scudda-Hoo, Scudda-Hey.
Was that all you had to say?
No, no. In a picture called Scudda-Hoo, Scudda-Hey, I had one word to say. I said, hello, but it went fast. In fact, they cut it out.
The studio felt she was unphotogenic, and they cut her small role out of the film. After getting dropped from Fox, Marilyn called on a Columbia Pictures executive who arranged a contract for her there. At Columbia, she got a nice singing role in a musical called Ladies of the Chorus.
Anyone can see I love you. Anyone can see I care. The way I hold your hand and smile in your direction tells the world my heart is filled with nothing but affection.
But once again, her contract was dropped. Marilyn diligently continued her nightlife with men, especially those who might be helpful to an ambitious starlet. Next, she got a small part with Groucho Marx, where she played a dumb blonde for the first time.
Is there anything I can do for you? What a ridiculous statement.
Mr. Grunion, I want you to help me.
I have a little sand left. What seems to be the trouble?
Some men are following me.
Really? I can't understand why.
When Marilyn was a nobody, there was only one man in Hollywood who supported her ambition, and that was Johnny Hyde. He got Marilyn a small role in the film All About Eve, which she used to prove she was more than just a pretty face.
Tell me this, do they have auditions for television?
That's all television is, my dear, nothing but audition.
Johnny not only became her agent, he fell in love with her. He divorced his wife and bought a house in Beverly Hills, where he and Marilyn lived together. He wanted her to marry him, but she told him she wasn't ready yet. Johnny nevertheless promoted her, used his influence, and finally got her a small but pivotal role in the John Huston film Asphalt Jungle.
A friend of mine who was an agent, his name was Johnny Hyde, asked me if he might bring her to the studio and read for me for this picture that was coming up, The Asphalt Jungle. She gave a reading that was extraordinarily good. She was ideal. She was the girl. However, I had no notion that she was going to go on and be the star that she became.
Marilyn Monroe as Angela, the easy-living, green-eyed blonde.
What's the big idea standing there staring at me, Uncle Lon?
Don't call me Uncle Lon.
I thought you liked it.
Maybe I did. I don't anymore.
I have the market send over some salt mackerel for you. I know how you love it for breakfast.
Some sweet kid.
Haven't you bothered me enough, you big banana head? Just try breaking my door, and Mr. Emmerich will throw you out of the house.
Thanks to Johnny, Marilyn's future looked bright and clear. But then, without any warning signs, Johnny had a massive heart attack and died. Once again, Marilyn was alone. But it was nothing new. Her childhood years had sadly accustomed her to it.
Joe Dimaggio.
On a different note, for Joe Dimaggio, 1941 was his year.
He's just a man and not a freak. Joltin' Joe Dimaggio.
Joe Dimaggio. We want you and I.
Beginning on May 15th, he began getting base hits in every game.
The New York Yankees outfielder goes to bat against Washington with a consecutive hitting streak of 40 games. A safety will tie a 19-year-old modern record. And on his third try, Dimaggio comes through. A screaming two-bagger equals George Sisler's mark for hitting in 41 straight games.
The standing record was 44 consecutive base hits. And when he hit number 45 and broke the record, the nation went berserk. And when Dimaggio kept getting hits, 46, 47, 48, the nation was glued to their radio sets. 49, 50. Dimaggio seemed unstoppable. Then on July 16th, his streak ended when he failed to get a hit in his 57th game. His record of base hits in 56 straight games has never been broken. It's considered not only the most outstanding feat in baseball history, but one of the most incredible events in all of sports.
Named Joe Dimaggio, top-ranking American League baseball player, heads for Uncle Sam's Army. So the $50,000 a year Joe Dimaggio becomes a $50 a month guy named Joe. Dimaggio says, I just wanted to do my part.
Even before Joltin' Joe Dimaggio left to do his duty in World War II, there were rumors that his marriage to Dorothy was about to end. Sure enough, while he was in the Army, Dorothy filed for divorce. Back in the land of make-believe, Marilyn's year at Fox had taught her how the studio game is played. Over the years, that popularity continued to grow, eventually landing her in a variety of movie roles, as in this early dramatic film with Richard Widmark.
When I stepped into that room, I ran smack into an adventure you don't forget in a long time. Because the screen has never shown this kind of woman before. The kind that reaches out in the loneliness of the night to a stranger passing by. I should have seen the warning of danger in her eyes. But what happened in that suspense-filled night was about to change my entire life.